about him curing me of cancer before he had actually cured me of cancer. He had me start writing that book, which is a miracle. And I believed him, so I started writing. With the mindset that at the end of the book, I'm cured. Faith to get between a security officer and a homeless man. That are coming to blows. The security officer already had his hand on his baton. And he had backup. He had a cart boy come. He gave me the spiritual gift of faith that brings about testimony. And my faith in him, not just faith of salvation faith, but sanctification faith. Faith that drives me beyond just believing, but to, ignore all earthly knowledge and facts, and to say, God said, God told me not to have surgery. God told me to do this. God told me to go out and try to, talk to this person at this church. It's locked. God told me to get down on my knees on a main road in front of this church and pray. And sure enough, someone came to the door. I had knocked and knocked and knocked and no one came. But I got down on my knees and they came. Just faith to do exactly what he says. That's so crazy. So crazy. Faith to get between a security officer and a homeless man. That are coming to blows. The security officer already had his hand on his baton. And he had backup. He had a cart boy come. But anyways, and because of that, it brings about testimony. I am not sure, actually, if my testimony drives this immense amount of faith that I've had somewhere, this faith that drives the testimony. I feel like it's the faith, because I feel like the faith comes first. For me, it isn't that I had all these testimonies and then I developed a stronger faith. It does help, but I feel like I had that strong faith from the beginning. However, what he did is, if you just look at, he told me I was supposed to write a book. And I'm like, okay, a book about him curing me of cancer before he had actually cured me of cancer. He had me start writing that book, which is a miracle. And I believed him, so I started writing. With the mindset that at the end of the book, I'm cured. So, like writing a book about being cured of cancer, kind of going back and saying, I didn't understand back then, but I do now, that this is the lesson he was trying to teach me. It's amazing to see that when he hadn't even cured me yet. In fact, I was still called a ticking time bomb from Mayo Clinic. So that's amazing, for him to give me such faith like that. It's not my faith. Like, yes, he's given it to me for a time, but this is faith from God. Just like everyone has a spiritual gift. If it's a spiritual gift to evangelize, basically, what you say, Jesus died on the cross and rose again for your sins, somehow they believe, almost right away. I've seen this happen with people, over and over again with the same. They had the spiritual gift of evangelism. Okay, I can talk blue in the face. They come up and say one word, and they're like, "Oh, I believe." I obviously don't have that spiritual gift, but to work in that spiritual gift.